has it's a mom. That's a fact. I like to be right and simple. Now, this little Tea Party adventure started with Rick Santelli, February 19th, 2009. So let me share a little note for the left-wing media. It wasn't a conspiracy. It wasn't because we hated Obama. It wasn't something about his color. It was about policies. It didn't start with anything but a seminal moment. Rick got up on the Chicago Mercantile. He said, "Hey, we've got a problem. Do you want to pay for your neighbor's bailout? And maybe we need a Tea Party." Now, I'm paraphrasing. Rick's a good guy. We've done a few shows before. But the bottom line is that this is about policy. This is about a disagreement with a progressive approach that is destructive to America, that has worked nowhere. Find me one country that exists where progressive policies have been successful. They look good for a while, but like Margaret Thatcher said, it only works as long as someone else is writing the check. And we don't have a checkbook that we can write anymore in this country. We need real cuts. We need real spending. Cuts, not spending more. Andrew Wilkow, come on over here. Andrew is responsible for this in so many ways, because it was Andrew and his producer, Nick Rizzuto, who introduced me to Kellen Gaida. Then I had an idea. Now look what we've done. Take it away, Andrew.
I could get up here and craft 4, 5, 6 lines to get you to applause, to raise your applause and make some noise and all that stuff. But that doesn't get us anywhere. You guys are here. We've been doing this now for 2 years. This is our 3rd Tea Party. And it's not the people that are here that I feel like I need to speak to. It's the people that are here because they either don't want to be here, like some of our journalists who are just being told to cover it. There might be some people walking by who find it kind of annoying that their path home is blocked by steel barriers. The question that I want to pose, the thing that I want you to walk around thinking about tonight, the thing that I want you to share with people when they say, "Why do you do this? Why do you go to these Tea Party things? Aren't there a bunch of crazy racists or whatever?" The origin of debt. What is the origin of debt? Now, all government by its very existence will, whether you like it or not, will create 2 things. Some level of force. You have to have laws. Somebody has to enforce them. And then when you hire people to enforce those laws, you have to pay them. So the mere existence of government, no matter how big or how small, will impose some level of debt onto a taxpayer. It's just how much of that can the taxpayer absorb and still be productive. If I live next to you and my kid throws a baseball through your window, well, we'll go to a court. We will settle the controversy as to whether or not we can prove whether or not my child threw a baseball through your window, and if so, how much do I owe you for it? But how on earth can we have a system whereby which if you break your own window and you can't afford to buy yourself a new window, you could drag me in the court and say, "He's got more money than me and I need a window"? I'm not trying to make light of it. The origin of debt. I'm not picking on the National Endowment of the Arts when I ask this question, or Planned Parenthood for that matter. I don't care what... Hold on. I don't care what Planned Parenthood does for the purpose of this speech. I don't care what NPR does for the purpose of this speech. I don't care what the National Endowment of the Arts does for the purpose of this speech. I want to know why, when I wake up in the morning, I'm in debt to them. What did I do? Did I break somebody's window? No. The 18 enumerated powers provide the federal government, I have my Constitution right here, provide the federal government a means by which they will achieve common defense and general welfare. The 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendments that we know as real civil rights law, not the ones that were filibustered in the 1960s, provide government power to enforce those laws. For the life of me, the origin of debt, you can ask anybody who disagrees with what we're doing. Okay, I get it. You believe in the National Endowment of the Arts. I'm just asking you, what is the origin of my debt as a taxpayer to this, that, or the other thing? You will never get an answer. It's not about, oh, you must hate the arts. No, I don't hate the arts. I don't hate this. It's not about hate. It's about raising the mere question, what is the origin of debt? When nobody has an answer for that. When nobody can say, you know, at the end of the day, we need a military to protect our country. We need law enforcement officers to keep us safe. We need somebody to do this or somebody to do that. When you have no legitimate, rational, intellectual, legal answer as to why we're paying a tax to something, why are we paying a tax to it? The answer is we've never asked this question. It's a very simple, basic question. What is the origin of debt? The answer is, I guess it's government. I guess we've gotten to a point now where, as Bastiat said, the few can plunder the many can plunder the few, or everybody can plunder everybody. So basically, now we're all trying to find the guy that can go to Washington and beat up everybody enough to get more stuff to bring back home, when if we just reduced federal taxes, the states can decide how to spend the money based on the state's needs. And if, oh my God, we got really crazy and might even pass some of that responsibility down to county commissioners and so forth down to township mayors. Whether the town is a one-horse town or New York City. But when nobody knows the origin of debt, when nobody can answer that basic, simple question, what is the origin of debt? You have a ballooning, out of control deficit, because you're spending not on some things, but on everything. All right, guys, just to wrap it up, I know Dave's got to get on time here. I dragged my wife out into the cold. You guys are out in the cold. Let me wrap up with this one thing. If we have a few less people who are 10 times more motivated, that's more important than people that are just here because, well, it's the thing to do today. So if it's just us, I'm all right with that, and I thank you guys for coming out.